Hi everyone, we're going to use square roots to solve quadratic equations. Basically, here are some of the little rules here. If d is positive, this is what this means. If d is positive, then we have two solutions. If d is negative, we have no solutions. And if d equals 0, we have one solution, which is x equals 0. So let me illustrate this with the next slide. So let's look at the first one. We're going to solve by taking square roots. So the first thing we're going to do is divide both sides by 2. So we get x squared equals 4. Then we're going to square root both sides. Now remember, when you square root both sides, you have to do plus and minus. And so we get, this cancels each other out. So we get x equals plus or minus 2. So we have two solutions. This is in the case where d was positive. And we get this. And let's just recall why we have to do the plus and minus here. Because if you square negative 2 squared, that equals 4. And 2 squared equals 4. So you have to always do the plus and minus here, okay? Now, so this was two solutions, plus and minus 2. Now the next one, we're going to add 18 to both sides. And we get m squared equals 0. So when you square root both sides, you're just basically going to get m equals plus or minus square root of 0, which is just 0. So that's one solution. That's our second case where d equals 0. So that has one solution, and it's always d equals 0. And the last one's going to be where we don't have a solution, so we subtract 12 and we'll get negative 7. When you square root both sides, you get plus or minus negative 7. Now, this means we have no real solutions. We do have imaginary solutions, but we're not there yet. So we will look at that a little later when we have something like a square root of a negative number. Okay, let's just do some problems now. We have this one, so we're going to divide both sides by 4. So we get 9 over 4. Now we're going to square root both sides. Don't forget to put the plus and minus. We know this is positive, so this is 9/4 is positive. So we're going to have two solutions. Now, a lot of my students have problems with this. So basically, if you want, go ahead and take each piece. Square root of 9 over the square root of 4. So square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. So my two solutions are positive 3/2 and negative 3/2. And remember, the solutions mean the x-intercepts. So it's right in here. This opens up, and it's something like that. Okay, so this would be negative 3/2 here. This would be 3/2. Remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the x-intercepts. Okay, the next one, I'm going to move the 11 over. So I'm adding 11 to both sides. 7 plus 11 is 18. Divide both sides by 3, and we get 6. In this case, we get square root both sides. Don't forget to put the plus and minus. And so x equals plus or minus root 6. This is an exact solution, or it's exact two solutions basically here. All right. Now, if they ask you to approximate the solutions, then what you're going to do is use the calculator, and plus or minus 6 is approximately plus or minus 2.45. This is exact. So when they're asking for exact, you don't have to use the calculator, which is kind of nice. If they ask for approximate solutions, then you do have to use the calculator. And that's approximately. Okay, and that's why we do the little squiggly lines here. Approximately that. The next one is a little more complicated. So what we're going to do is divide both sides by 6. So basically I'm dividing both sides by 6. And I get x minus 4 squared equals 7. Now, the only thing I can do here is square root both sides. So I'm going to square root both sides. Okay. Now, what happens here is this part cancels. This neutralizes each other. So we get x minus 4 equals plus or minus root 7. Now I'm going to, what I put that? So that's 7. Now I'm adding 4 to both sides because I'm solving for x. So you add 4, your solutions are going to be 4 plus and minus root 7. So all that means is one solution is 4 plus root 7, and the other solution is 4 minus root 7. So there's your two solutions. Those are the exact solutions. If you need to approximate it, then just put it in the calculator. Okay, the next one we have is this one. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Square root both sides. Square root of 1 is just 1, so my two solutions are plus 1 and negative 1. The next one, I'm going to add 42 to both sides. Divide both sides by 2. And then square root both sides. So we get, I forgot my plus and minus. So your m equals plus or minus 5, two solutions. All right. Now, this one we're going to divide both sides by 15. So we get d squared equals 0. When you square root both sides, you're just going to get d equals 0, one solution. That's that second case we talked about on the first slide. Here we're going to subtract 8. We get a negative 5. Of course, this is negative. So d is negative. That means no solutions. You could just stop there if you want. Basically, if you square root both sides, you can get plus or minus the square root of negative 5. That means no, actually we should say no real solutions. Okay, here we're going to subtract 11 from both sides, and we get 4. Divide both sides by 25. So we get b squared equals 4 over 25. Then we're going to square root both sides, plus and minus. And don't forget, so this is b, because this cancels out. And you could write this as the square root of 4 over the square root of 25, which equals 2 over 5, plus or minus, two solutions. All right? And do we have any more? Okay, here we have, we're going to add 35 to both sides, which gives us 49. We're going to divide both sides by 9. So we get x squared equals 49 over 9. This is a positive number, so we're going to have two solutions. Square root both sides. Don't forget to put the plus and minus, so you get x equals, the square root of 49 is 7, and the square root of 9 is 3. So that's how you solve quadratic equations by taking square roots. The next thing we're going to do is solve quadratic equations by completing the square. And I hope you all have a very nice day.